Assalamualaikum, my dear students. Hope you are doing very well with the grace of Almighty Allah. This is Khaleda Akter, student teacher of Social Science, Maternal English Version School, Deship. So, my dear students of class 7, today I am going to take a Bangladesh and Global Studies class for you, and this is class number 7, and UDSW number will be 5. Today we are doing chapter 8, and from chapter 8 we are doing the reading done. Okay, so let's have a look on the board. We will be starting from lesson 4 today. So we will be starting from lesson 4. So before starting, we would like to know the name of the chapter, Introduction to Population of Bangladesh. So what is the chapter name of the chapter? Introduction to Population of Bangladesh. We have done the previous lessons, that means we have done the reading of previous lessons, and now we are starting from lesson 4. And in lesson 4 we will get the mortality and the mortality of maternal mortality and child mortality also we will discuss in this lesson. So name of the lesson is situation of mother and child mortality in Bangladesh. So what is the situation of mortality in mother and child in Bangladesh? We will try to get acquainted with that. At first, we would like to know the definition of actually mortality, that means maternal mortality and child mortality, and then we will go to the further discussion. When mothers meet death before they give birth to their children or for reasons after the birth of their children, it is called mortality of mothers. That means whenever the mother is giving birth of a child, that time for any reason or for the reason of giving birth, if the mother dies, that is called mortality of mothers. Okay, and then on the other hand, a newborn baby who is actually up to its 1 year of age is known as baby. That means whenever of a child whose age is below 1 year or at best 1 year, that is called actually baby. If a baby meets its death in this 1 year, it is called child mortality. So what did we get? We get actually when the baby in his 1 year age, if he meets his death, its death during this period of time, that means 1 year, it will be called as child mortality. And if a baby dies within the first month of its birth, it is called neonatal mortality. So dear students, if you get any question related to the definition of mortality of mothers, mortality of children and the neonatal mortality, then you can make this definition to make the answer of the questions. Now we will go to the section 4.1, where we will get the maternal mortality situation in Bangladesh, and we have drawn a structure here by which we will see the scenery of mortality in the mothers, that means in the maternal mortality situation, and based on the years. Okay, at first in 1980 the mortality was 650. That means in that year total mortality was only 650 women, that is mother. And in 1990 it has decreased. It becomes 574. In 2001 it also decreased. It became 322. In 2010 it becomes 194, and 2015 it became 176. That means we saw that gradually the maternal mortality rate is decreasing. Okay, but still now we are finding the maternal mortality situations in Bangladesh. So for a developing country, the scenery is not that good. Okay, we need to be concerned about that, and then we will try to find out what are the causes and effects of maternal mortality. At first we will go for the causes, and then we will go for the effects. So the first causes are here, child marriage. So we know about what is child marriage. So because child marriage, maternal mortality rate is increasing, or maternal mortality is still now existing in the society. And then lack of nutrition due to ignorance, indifference and religious superstition. So we are so much ignorant, we don't have that much education in female members of the family. We are indifferent from each other, and we have religious superstition. At the same time we have societal superstition. So for that reason we have a lack of nutrition in the mothers. Low standard of life. In some families we have low standard of life patterns and we cannot afford standard fooding system and standard quality of life, so that's why we are getting affected for lack of nutrition, and we are getting affected for some diseases. So that's why this is actually happening. And then lack of pure drinking water and sanitation. In most of the areas in our country, in the villages, we don't have pure drinking water and sanitation facilities. And then lack of female education, medical treatment facilities, etc. That means in some areas, most importantly in village areas, we have lack of female education, and at the same time we have medical treatment. We have the lack of medical treatment facilities actually. In some villages there are hospitals, but if we go there we will not find that enough doctors and nurses in the medical hospitals. So that is actually crying need for society. And then effects. The child loses its resistance to disease and falls victim to diseases. So whenever a mother of a child is dying, that time the child loses the resistance to disease, because that child doesn't get the milk of his mother or its mother. So that time he loses the resistance to disease. That means the things by which he will be protective from the diseases, so that actually kills. So that's why he becomes the victim of diseases. And then child suffers from proper socialization. In a society, mother is the actually first teacher for a person in his family or in her family. So that time if he or she doesn't get the mother, so that time there is a problematic situation in the society or in the family to be socialized properly, because the things we are learning, actually we are learning by our mothers. So that's why they suffers from the proper socialization. The baby suffers from stomach disorder and some other complications, because the baby have to have the milk of cow or goat, so that they don't have that much enough digestion, standardization in their body, so that's why they have stomach disorder and some complications. And then the remarriage of the father also needs extra expenditure. That means whenever a mother of a family is dying, the father, this is very impossible for a father to take care of a newborn child. So that time if the father wants to get married again, so that happens that he needs extra expenditure. Sometimes they cannot afford for that. So this is actually a great effect of maternal mortality in the society. Now we will go for 4.2, child mortality situation in Bangladesh. So at first we will go for the years, and then we will go for the mortality rate in the countries. So in Bangladesh in 1990 it was 149 per 1000, the mortality of child, and in 2006 it became 69, and 2008 it became 52, and 2016 it became 28. It is decreasing day by day, gradually it is decreasing, but this is also alarming for a developing country, because we still have child mortality in our country. Now we will find the causes behind child mortality. The first one is mother and child do not get proper healthcare, nutrition facilities or nutritious food. Yes, this is most important causes of child mortality. Child marriage is still rampant in the society or in the country. Yes, still now child marriage is very, the rate is not that lower. So as a result, the child becomes weak and malnourished due to early pregnancy. So whenever a child is getting married, she becomes pregnant very early, so that's why she has to give birth the child early. So that's why the child becomes weak and malnourished. Okay, and then children are taking birth on the hand of untrained rural midwives, which increases the rate of infant mortality. So that most of the cases it happens that in village areas there is not trained midwives who are actually giving birth. That means who are helping the mothers to give birth the child. So that time if they don't have the trained midwives, that time the rate of infant mortality increases. Okay, and then irresponsibility of doctors, difference between medical facilities available in rural and urban area plays a vital role. So in the society in our country, we have rural and urban areas, both we have. So in urban areas we have most facilities, and in rural areas we don't have that much facilities. That's why this actually making difference, and that's why the severity is actually increasing in rural areas. So dear students, now we will come to this part, effects of mortality. So the next portion is effects of mortality. So what are the effects? whenever a child dies in a family, that time the death of that child actually creates a disorder in a family, because they for 9 months they are hoping for a newborn baby, they have dreams, they have expectations, they have lots of joyous moment to celebrate. But whenever a child dies, or the death of child actually creates a disorder in the family, and then parents favor to have more children. Why they are having more children? Because the child mortality rate is higher, so that's why they don't have that much conformity that their child or their baby will be survived. So that's why they favor to have more children. And then in poor families they take frequent babies, and that's why the babies come with lesser weight and lesser intelligence. So in poor families they are not that much concerned, or they are very much confused whether their baby will be survived or not. So that's why they are getting lots of babies, and they are expecting frequent babies, and then the baby are not getting proper nutritious food and proper nutritious facilities. So that's why they are coming with lesser weight and lesser intelligence. So dear students, this is the effects of mortality, and now we will go to lesson 5. In lesson 5, population and natural resources of Bangladesh. So what are the actually relation between natural resource and population? We will try to focus on this point. The first one is pressure on forest resources, and the second one is pressure on cultivable land, and the third one pressure on gas and oil. The fourth one, pressure on water resources. Actually most of the part, if we discuss separately what are the pressure on forest resources, what are the cultivable land, gas and oil, water resources, actually we will know about that whenever we have a small country and we have larger population. That time we are using the forest mostly, and we are using the cultivable land to live in, to make the houses, and we are using the gas and oil to survive our lives, and we are using the water resources to survive. Okay, so that's why there is a huge pressure on these areas. So that's why these are actually decreasing, but population is increasing. So whenever something is going upward, that means the rate of population, and that at the same time our resources is going downward. So this is the scenery in the relation between population and natural resource in our country. And now we will go to lesson 6, causes, effects and solution to population growth of Bangladesh. Actually we all know the causes, we know the effects. These are the, if we speak casually, it will be the effects. We are reducing forest, we are reducing cultivable land, we are reducing gas and oil, we are reducing water resources. These are the effects. And what are the causes? We can relate that child mortality, maternal mortality, migration, all of the things are related. Poverty, unemployment, all of the things are related for that. But most important thing is to find out the solution. So we will discuss the solution. Before that, we will try to give an information about the population scenario of Bangladesh. According to one statistics report, every year some 25 lakh children are born here, while about 6 lakh people die. That means 19 lakh people are added to the population of Bangladesh per year. That means in every year 19 lakh people are adding with our total population. So the population is increasing. Now finally we will find out the steps to find out the solution to the population growth. So how we can make a solution, we will try to find out. The first one, we need proper implementation of Child Marriage Act. Number 2, we need to create employment for women folk in productive sectors and involve them. The third one, we need to motivate everybody to take birth control measures. And 4, we need to turn the population into human resource. So the most important part is here, we need to be human resource. Whenever we are population, we need to be human resource. Actually, if we can become the human resource, we can turn the country in a developed country, and that time the population will not be a great problem for a country like Bangladesh. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's topic. In the next class we will come back with a new topic. Till then, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.